and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. So we always have lots of people talking about emotional regulation, emotional regulation. Let's talk a little bit about that. One thing we know is that narcissistic people cannot emotionally regulate. And one of the biggest problems, and I'd say the biggest issues in narcissistic relationships originate from the fact that narcissistic people are so dysregulated. They either scream and yell if they don't get their way, or they give you the silent treatment. And long story short, that is how we end up with the eggshell walking, the balancing on a razor that characterizes just about every antagonistic or narcissistic relationship. If you have been in a narcissistic relationship for long enough, or you grew up with a narcissistic parent, you never really got healthy models of regulation. And as a result, raging, screaming anger can become normalized, or any form of anger can become terrifying. Alternately, your fears of abandonment may have been stoked by a parent who expressed their anger through withholding or withdrawal anytime the parent didn't get their way. So from a very early age, you became masterful at completely and utterly catering to the needs of other people. So that may leave you wondering, if all I've ever seen, or most of what I see, is dysregulation or unhealthy regulation, what exactly does healthy regulation look like? Now, if you've never really been in a relationship where that is happening, or you even struggle with it yourself, that may be a big question. By and large, most survivors of narcissistic and antagonistic relationships overregulate. You keep it all bottled up, right? And that definitely is going to take a toll on your physical and your mental health. It's not a bad strategy, right? There's no point in speaking out in the relationship, so the overregulation may be the only way to stay safe. And in fact, speaking out may even make things worse. So maybe for a lifetime, you learn to push it all down and even find that you're not even able to cry or let out emotion in any way. And you may feel quite distanced from how you feel or even what you're allowed to feel. But that, again, begs the question of what this video is about. What exactly then qualifies as healthy regulation? Here are some thoughts on that. In a person who is healthily regulated, you actually express the emotion appropriately. You give yourself permission to identify the emotion and to respond to it. Maybe you'll cry if you're sad. Take a break and maybe some time to work to yourself, to work through some anger. Laughing when you're happy and you're able to articulate the emotion. I feel really angry right now. And then articulate what you need. Like, I just need a minute to sit with this. Though, got to keep this in mind. Just because you regulate and express the emotion, it doesn't mean that the other person you're with will either hear it right or cooperate. But whether you do it alone or with someone else or in a place where you can share it, you name it, you express it, you feel it, you process it.
Listen, Dr. Ramani is not playing either. Listen, as your partner, what I actually am is your companion. But your journey is yours alone. I'm just here to walk it with you. I'm not here to walk it for you. Disney did that. Disney did that. There are things you must do for you that causes you to elevate towards self-realization. I cannot realize your exclusive portion of the one self for you. Did you hear that? I can't realize your exclusive portion of the one self for you. It is your job to climb the Jacob's ladder in your spirit and connect with the source that is connected to you. It's the same source that's connected to me, but I got a different piece of it. It's not my job to do that. I can't do that for you. You had an example in Christ. He was teaching how to do that. But what did he say of his disciples? My disciples are fools and slow of heart. What? You live with the instructions? Man, didn't I tell y'all to stay awake in the Garden of Gethsemane? Didn't I say that? So you don't want to deal with the fact of who you are. You'd rather deal with convenient, stimulating feelings so you can forget about the facts of who you are. Tonight's topic, feelings over facts. They're in love with how you make them feel, not who you are. Because who you are is a work in progress that is designed to disappoint. Why is it designed to disappoint, Zoe? Because they mirror what you have yet to work on. Everybody does. I know it's difficult to look at it that way, but that's simply what it is. We want love to be convenient. We want love to be unidirectional. Right? Unidirectional. Just feel good. All good vibes. No bad vibes. Do you know what the purpose of a bad vibe is? It's not just a warning. Right? It could also be a reminder of something you forgot or something you've looked over. Man, let me just say, what do you mean, Zoe? Many people struggle with being enough, right? Many people struggle with a worthiness wound. Man, put that "I Am Enough" back on by Real Thorough. Andy, can you put that "I Am Enough" back on underneath the record? I Am Enough. The Real Thorough record we played earlier. Oh, he done got rid of the record already. Lord have mercy. Because in the record, the brother is basically saying, you are enough. We are enough. Like literally, we're enough. But we haven't been taught that. And especially if in the beginning of our relationship journey. Right? Gosh. If that wasn't there, we go out looking for what we think we're missing. Here's the philosophical insight. Convenience is the enemy of depth. Let that resonate. Convenience is the enemy of depth. Cal Newport. Gosh. If they show up the way I need them to show up, I'm good. That's convenient, huh? How convenient. But it's going to lack meaning. It's going to lack purpose. Do you see? Generational dissonance, craving empathy, but avoiding human messiness. I was talking to my daughter. She's Gen Z. Oh, it's a mess, child. I'm staying home. That's how she talks. It's a mess, child. I'm staying home. Do you want me to bring you anything? No, I'm fine. It's a mess out there. I'm staying home. Avoidance builds conflict in communication, in relationship, internally. Wherever there is avoidance, there's a slacking on your mackin'. Remember when we was young, closed mouth don't get fed? You better get out there and get it. Am I lying? Emotional IQ insight. You got to use AI as a tool, not as a crutch, right? You have to preserve human accountability. No more bot therapy or AI enablers. Do you understand? This generation, the millennials and the Generation Zs, are starting to spiritually bypass. Everything is designed for convenience, right? What's a synonym for convenience? Comfort, predictability, consistency, the enemy of depth. Cal Newport. This is the world we're living in. The emotional IQ must raise if the quality of our relationships are to raise. We got a caller on the line. I want to get him in here. Nephew time. Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully you're not on speakerphone.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, what up? My bad.
No worries, brother.
Man, yeah, I sorry about before, man. One of my earbuds had died.
No worries, brother. You good.
But really though, with the regulation piece, one thing that's helped me, I'm still working through, is, in terms of accepting wise counsel from those that you do respect. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing. And one sentiment that's been echoed to me is kind of like a double-edged thing, where it's like, personally, just I get fueled by what I feel is my passion igniting. Mm-hmm. That can look like aggression. It can look like just intensity, those type of things. And I had to learn that it's okay to feel that, not to lash out, but again, just kind of pocketing and having certain outlets that not only are available to me or that I might seek out, but also it's one thing to have an opportunity to do something. It's another thing to take it on with confidence too. Mm-hmm. So part of that as well is that the letting things go piece is really big in terms of what's helped me better regulate my own emotional turmoils or struggles, because stress in various forms is going to manifest as sickness throughout your body, health. You might have, I've had chronic migraines and so forth and things like that. But what I realized too is that inside I was walking around with, especially in those times, and even as they come up, I can still identify, but it's like there feels to be, or there appears to be something still unresolved inside of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might not be something that I'm oblivious to, you know what I mean? But it feels like, I know I still have to, quote unquote, do something about this.
Right.
And it's okay to do that.
You might be aware of it, but you might not have a name for it.
Yeah, that's another one.
Do you see what I'm saying?
The language piece, right?
Yeah,
right.
like you might not know what to call it. You might not know its origin. That's why you might want to get a wound journal and start naming them.
Right.
Do you
no,
see?
That's big. And then, well, for me, yeah, and that's something I might do as well too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, say like my wound journal now, more than anything, is just my practice I call sketching for sanity, or like just airing it out.
Right.
So in
Release
terms of
it.
art therapy,
Yes.
right, you just embrace the gift of expression and flow.
I love that.
And choosing, you choose to take on the gift of being able to let something go. It's like, because another big gem is like, you can't let something go that you're not holding on to. So walking around like you're not still wrapped up or caught up on something in denial.
Wait.
Like that's one big thing that a lot of people might need to face
hold
too.
on. Say that again. You can't let go of something that, what?
That you're not holding on to.
Because it's already let go. It's gone. You're not holding on to it, right?
You would think so. But it's like, because in my personal experience, in essence, even recently, like, I could tell myself till the cows come home type of thing, like, I'm over this or I'm over that. But that constant echo inside is still showing me that, in honesty, that's not something I have actually let go of.
Then it's okay. I see where you're going. But listen to how you framed it. You can't let go of something that you're not holding on to. Well, in fact, you are holding on. Right?
Exactly.
You might be resistant to acknowledging the fact that you're still holding on. See, these are the lies we have to tell ourselves to make it to the next moment. I ain't holding on to them. I ain't checking for them. I'm not caught up. But in fact, you really are. So now but see, this is why I stopped you there, because you actually opened up a can of worms, right? Because a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with the fact that they think they've moved on. Let me tell you something. Closure and moving on are two different things. See, many of us have closure inverted. We think the closure is in the person. Hell no. The closure is in you. That is how you let go. Do you see? Stay with me. Don't go nowhere, nephew. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. You cooking. When we come forward, more from ATL.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds. It was a hub of black-owned businesses, churches, and cultural institutions. It stood as a symbol of black resilience and economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. Don't miss our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting, on Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena. Join Dominic DePrima, Nee Cordelai Corte, James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate Day 100 since the wildfires flared up, and we discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 Days and Counting Town Hall, Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. The first 100 attendees will receive a complimentary air purifier. This is a community call to action, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, they cast a spell after reading the glyphs. Using knowledge against us, destroyed our noses and lips. They wanted to take our breath, but we were reborn after death. The ancestors restored the flesh. We were left to suffer, our memories not nearly recovered. Man devolved, became slave to desire. Womb to tomb, consuming fumes of the fire. The noose of the liar took our breath again. We took their message in, looking outward instead of within. Programmed the ways of sin to replace divine intent. From man to boy, lost ones chasing a decoy. But the truth is hard to destroy. Take a breath and realize you are all that's left. The final frontier, the one in the mirror. The spell is weaker as you start to remember. We were here before they came. We laid out the game, wrote it in stone all the same. Masters of this plane always, not here to entertain. I came to light up the center brain. Now breathe and get up off your knees. We were common man, queens, kings, artisans, experts in every region. Finding our impact is easy. A simple search of...
Well, here we are, back to our cognitive distortion series, distortion number 11, magnification. This is where we make a bigger deal out of something more than it needs to be. It's sort of like Chicken Little. The sky is falling, sky is falling. So magnification is a cognitive distortion where we exaggerate the significance or consequences of an event or situation. You know, for example, if we make a small mistake at work, we might catastrophize it and make it much worse than it really is. And we could even go on to believe that it could ruin our career or cost us our job. In reality, it was simply a mistake. That's something we all make and probably can be easily rectified. I find this thinking particularly harmful because it tends to lead people over the edge, leading to anxiety, stress, and simply feelings of overwhelm. It can also prevent us from taking necessary risks or trying new things because we're afraid of the potential consequences. To counteract magnification, it's really about trying to put things into perspective and ask ourselves, could we be blowing things out of perspective, out of proportion? What's helpful is to step back for a moment and go, whoa, let's take a look at the bigger picture. And in the big picture of the world, is this really something smaller or is it really big? And that way you have some comparison of where things seem to be. It also allows us, when we step back, to focus on some problem solving and solutions that may help us overcome whatever we're facing, rather than dwelling on the negative outcomes. Sometimes I find people get so caught up in what they think will happen because of the way their minds are going and catastrophizing this small event that they are immobilized to do anything differently. They get stuck. So magnification.
Wow. Cooking with the rarest grease of them all. The voice of reason. I'm just bringing things to your attention that are necessary for when you go into a relationship. Number one, self-observation. You're so busy looking at your partner and expecting them to show up in the way that you need them to show up, expecting them to show up in the way that your wounds need them to show up in, that you lose sight of you, how you will react, how you will respond, right? If triggered. If something from the subconscious peers its ugly head into the conscious relationship environment. Your job is to keep an eye on you. That's how you track your progress. Relationship is the university of you. What does that mean? The university of the revelation of self-knowledge. If you got 256 scripts of generational trauma running at any point in your life, who's to say your great-great-grandfather who got anger issues towards women didn't pop up in a particular conflict you had with one? According to Dr. Muriel Bouquet, her work on intergenerational trauma, 256 scripts. From both your mama's side, 12 on your mama's side, 12 on your father's side. You're going to get 256 generational scripts running unconsciously. So what happens when you people please and enable? Maybe that was passed down epigenetically too. Do you see? Relationships are designed to stop those demonic avatars from making it to your children. But you know what we do? We pass the buck. And we keep passing it to the generation after us. Why do 40% of Gen Z twin flame seekers dismiss psychological abuse as divine lessons, despite 80% meeting the DSM-5's criteria for trauma bonds? You have to remember, in the Western context, a trauma bond is a bad thing. In a spiritual context, that trauma is bonded between two people so you can't escape. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about psychologically. Those wounds mirror each other, and there's an opportunity for healing if we focus on the wounds and not the person that's exacerbating them. When we come forward, we're going back to Atlanta, Georgia, to get final thought on my nephew. It's going to be great. Let's go.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump has signed an order to boost shower water pressure, reversing Obama-Biden era limits. He says it'll make America's showers great again. The move allows more water per nozzle, ending what the White House calls the Obama-Biden, quote, war on water pressure, end quote. Black NFL wide receiver Tyreek Hill's wife, Lakita, has filed for divorce a day after police responded to an assault call at his condo. Hill was not charged and no one was harmed. He reportedly got upset after she accused him of not being involved enough with their daughter. North Carolina's GOP-led Senate has passed a bill to ban DEI programs at public colleges. The bill also requires schools to block policies supporting DEI goals. And Michelle Obama has shut down divorce rumors on Sophia Bush's podcast, saying she's focused on making her own choices and living with intention. You can listen to the whole podcast on iHeartRadio. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Imhotep's many roles in ancient Egyptian society included being a scribe, a priest, a stonemason, a physician, an astronomer, and most famously, an architect. As described on the famine stela, an 8-foot-tall stele inscribed into granite, the Nile River stopped flooding during the reign of Pharaoh Joseph.
Know my time is coming, what I read by, so I'm standing in it like I'm G.I. Joe. They still selling lies, they still selling lies. They selling lies, tryna meet their quota. What's the point of history, we living a lie. It ain't no mystery, we in the divide. Know my time is coming, what I read by, so I'm standing in it like I'm standing in it like I'm Imhotep in the pyramid of the Joseph. More powerful than any blammer, you pulling out the holster. I walk tall and knowing that my people were once chosen, cause the infrastructure America was built upon was stolen. I'm talking agriculture, government, bathing in more. All astronomy and mathematics came from the Moors, and I'm not racist. I got love for my Caucasians, but it was black folks that brought Europe out of them dark ages. We ain't never taught about it. In the truth we hardly speak, only mentioning Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. You ain't gotta look too hard to see how proud you ought to be. Dog, our history is rich, the start of our philosophy started. Know my time is coming, what I read by, so I'm standing in it like I'm G.I. Joe. They still selling lies, they still selling lies. They selling lies, tryna meet their quota.
Depression and anxiety can come with strong emotions like sadness, despair, hopelessness, and fear. Sometimes people can view the mere presence of these strong emotions as evidence to support the emotions themselves. It's something we call emotional reasoning. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what emotional reasoning is and what you can do about it. Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to be continuing our series on cognitive biases, and today's topic is going to be emotional reasoning, which is a very common type of cognitive distortion that people will experience that tends to exacerbate anxiety and depression. But before I get into that, just a couple of disclaimers to go over. I'm a registered psychologist in the province of British Columbia, Canada. And this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute or replacement for advice from your doctor or mental health professional. So with those things out of the way, let's start talking about emotional reasoning, which is when a person uses the presence or the intensity of their emotions as evidence that the emotions are based in reality, or that there's some reality to the emotions. So people often perceive that they have intuition and that their emotions are telling them something and that they should listen to those emotions. And generally speaking, that's okay, but when you're talking about anxiety and depression, this tendency can lead to a lot of problems. So things like, I feel so frightened, it must mean there's something really dangerous here. Or, I feel inadequate, so I must be worthless. I feel guilty, so I must have done something wrong. The problem is, our emotions are based on interpretations of events, not events themselves. And so if our interpretation is wrong, I'll experience an emotion that doesn't really match the situation, an emotion that is inappropriate or inconsistent with what's actually going on. So I can end up being extremely angry.
Back to Alfred Korzybski, the map is not the territory. The feeling is not the reality. You don't listen to your emotions, you feel them. Once you feel them without judgment, they subside. And they're important to have. Emotions are like seasonings. Too much of them, they ruin the meal. They ruin the relationship. But when you learn how to regulate them by allowing yourself to feel them, they become very useful. The emotion is not the reality. It's just the feeling. So stop trying to listen to the emotion. Because if you listen to the emotion, what is the emotion connected to? The unhealed wound. And the unhealed wound is the source of your rapacious desire for supply. The wound said, we need this. It doesn't feel good. Give. You're setting up codependency all over again. Let me get my nephew back in here. Atlanta, come on. Nazarene X, man. Did you remember your point?
Yeah, I did. And we got time. I'll just riff off. So we speaking about closure. And
Yes.
I was saying, all right, so closure for me is basically, it looks like someone seeking comfort with that uncomfortable truth. But my emphasis is really on peace, like maintaining peace of mind. Like, that's crucial. And for me, it trumps any need for closure. Even a recent sermon that was echoed is that, God itself, himself, herself, however we want to put it, God is a truth, way, and a light. God is a door. So as long as we walk up with God in the now at any given moment, we will always have a doorway. Even if there's not a door there, we walking with God, we still got a door with us. He's also a locksmith too. So if there's a blessing in something, he could pop that thing for us. But I believe that it's on us to stay rooted and asking ourselves, one, like, is peace even possible for me? And I pray that everybody finds it in themselves to acknowledge a yes in that.
So what is? Let's get into it. What is peace to you? What is it?
For me, it came to basically, as I just let it flow, it was just like, peace for me is surrender into knowing that even a storm is not that much different from myself, for real. So it's like, I find peace in nature, like, storms, that's a part of nature and all of that. So even from that, as dangerous as it can be, I still feel a part of that.
So
and that's something like even looking at myself.
You hitting on something very powerful, sir. Let's just stay with me. Let me interrupt every now and again because you're hitting on something that's so powerful, and I got to slow you down a little bit. Peace is surrender for you.
Correct.
This is deep. This is deep. This is deep. Now, surrender. Let's extend it further. Could you say surrender is synonymous with acceptance?
Yes, sir. No question.
What about you that you have accepted, that you have surrendered to, that ultimately brought you peace? What aspect of you, what inner demon, unhealed wound did you surrender to in empathy, in love, in non-judgmental observation? What wound did you do that to that led you to peace?
It feels like it's something like my aggression to go get something right. Like whatever that so-called quote-unquote violent streak, or to go get them, like that dog, that whatever. Because I don't want to be dangerous yet. I am at the service of correcting wrongs, even in myself or in others or whatever. But it's like in this world and society, part of the responsibility and being wise and making sure I'm still alive as long as I can be and so forth. Like, I don't want to misstep. So internally, I'm trusting myself to know my own intention, know my own nature, know my own heart, yet at any given point, like, there is a little trigger button or whatnot. Like, my spirit going to send me off, potentially. Prayerfully, it's always on, you know what I'm saying, it's on time, and like, and I'm here for that.
No, I don't think you understand what you're doing right now. I don't understand the levels. You don't understand the levels that you're unlocking right now. So peace, you said peace, I don't have to go fix something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you speaking externally?
Yeah, from that sense, it starts within. Because like it's before I can actually, if there is something externally to correct it, if there is something outside of, like my frame of mind is going to dictate how efficient I am when I show up anyway. So I got as clear, as sound as possible, very secure in that sense, even to the point where it's like to an extent, like if I'm to give someone else an explanation, I can say like, yo, certain things are beyond me, just like the power of God to me. Like,
so look,
certain things I might not have the words for, but as long as I'm
No, go ahead and say it, because I have to give you this. I don't even know if you are aware that you just laid this flat, but go ahead and say what you were saying.
Love. But basically, honestly, I'm just to get some.
So, you know what you just said, right?
I believe, yes, sir.
You said peace is not having or feeling this pressure or anger or desire or passion to want to go out and fix something, right? Internally, there's only one fix for what's going on internally. What is that?
I feel that. It comes right back to that word acceptance.
Boom! Do you see? The self-fix did it. So if you said acceptance is an extension of surrender, are you telling me self-surrender ends the game? Accepting oneself as they are, without judgment, with empathy. I accept me in all levels, all areas, across all time and dimension. I am accepted by me first. That ends the desire to go, ooh, now I don't need to fix you, because most people are trying to fix other people so they can get the congratulations, the adulation, and the thanks and the approval from the boy. Stay right there. When we come forward, back to Atlanta, Georgia, more flames coming off the grill.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
This is Stevie Wonder, calling on Los Angeles property owners to help get unhoused veterans off the street. If you're a property owner or know someone who is, consider accepting veteran housing vouchers. You will receive guaranteed rent while providing a stable and safe home. Help end veteran homelessness and make a real difference in people's lives.
Learn more by emailing houseourvets@lacity.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
Work, make ya. Yeah.
Where
California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Times on mere reflection, I overthink my chosen path. Feeling lost in my direction, my connection. I feel like I can't escape, it ain't adding up. I feel like I'm in a cage, watching everybody fly away. Shit, I'm at the cul-de-sac. Am I using broken math?
Loss of direction, remnants of a chosen path. Endless reflection, indecision, and holding back. My money ain't adding up. I'm using broken math. Working my ass off without investing even close to half or anything. Ain't much left after the 15th. Let's figure it out. Is anybody listening? Obviously there's something missing. I probably need some other vision. Dalai Lama intervention. Lolly, make a decision, man. I need to change my habits.
Today I want to come to an issue that many people from complex trauma have when it comes to forming relationships, and it's a very troubling issue for them, and it would go under kind of the category of relationship addiction, or a new phrase or term that is used called limerence. To me, it's such a practical issue that needs to be looked at, and it's really not fully understood unless you look at it in light of complex trauma.
When we understand how complex trauma...
Listen, I want to let him cook, but I ain't got time. I got my nephew on the line. And it's important that we get my nephew's final thought. We can listen to him some other time. Now is my nephew's time, because guess what? We just had a breakthrough.
Man, I'll say.
The self-fix is connected to self-acceptance as you are? What? Is that what we just discovered, nephew? What are your final thoughts on this point?
I believe, again, just above all things, clarity. Clarity. Remain clear in yourself. Require it of yourself, and that'll help you be able to identify it when you encounter it. If you have any hang-ups, be clear inside, ask them questions, but I believe, like, clarity is a key. That can unlock your awareness, that can unlock your acceptance, and so forth, and I'm still working through it, still on it as well. But
me too, brother.
That's what I will offer out there, clarity.
Well, guess what you just did, nephew?
Shalom. ATL, Unc, I appreciate you.
Atlanta in the building. We appreciate the call. Thank you so much. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us, man. The Disney epigenetic curse. Now with millennials practicing this eternal adolescence. Question: do millennials prolonged adolescence, 30% of them still living with their parents, and Disney Plus binge watching, fuel Peter Pan syndrome, idealizing partners as adulting saviors? Here's the empirical hook. Millennials cite lack of life skills as a top reason for avoiding marriage. Pew, this is Pew Research, 2024. Philosophical insight here. To refuse growth is to weaponize nostalgia. Zygmunt Bauman. Generational dissonance, longing for adult love while clinging to childhood fantasies. Emotional IQ insight. Swap Prince Charming myths for collaborative partnerships. Hashtag Peter Pan love. Hashtag adulting avoidance. Let me tell you something. You avoid adulthood when you avoid pain. Love is pain. Pain is gain. Gains in philosophical understanding, spiritual understanding, psychological understanding, relational understanding, self-understanding. Pain is gain. Somebody told you that you could shortcut the pain and get to the gain. It's impossible. It's impossible. Is that what the soft life is? The Disney epigenetic curse? I want love and everything that comes with it. I'm not afraid of love as it is, right? I'm not so unhealed that I want to try to tailor-make love to fit over my obese, unrequited, internal, deep-seated wounds, right? We try to become love tailors. This is my type of love. Your definition of love is more wanting than your definition of God, is more wanting than your definition of self. You don't know who you are, you don't know who God is, and you don't know what love is. But you think, listen, can you imagine hacking into a computer's motherboard without knowing any of the circuitry? That's what you do when you let wounds dictate how you love. Listen, there's a reason attachment is here. Attachment is the glue that keeps you in the lesson you keep trying to elude. That's why if you throw away the person, you get another lesson that triggers the same thing. Listen, Dr. David R. Hawkins wrote a fantastic book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. He said, we have three major ways of handling feelings. 1, suppression, expression, and escape. Force can bring satisfaction, but only power brings joy. Victory over others brings us satisfaction, but victory over ourselves brings us joy. Please let me tell you what that means. You think you can force it. Oh, I'm done with you. I'm going to go to somebody else and they're going to do what I want them to do. That's force. And momentarily you will get satisfaction. But only power brings joy. The power of self-healing. Victory over others brings us satisfaction, but victory over ourselves brings us joy. Only a person can bring you satisfaction. It's fleeting. Stimulation is fleeting. And until you get comfortable being uncomfortable with the uncomfortable emotions that are all over the place, you're going to struggle. And God's going to keep you locked in to more relational experiences that will trigger more pieces of you to you. Listen, you don't have to agree. I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The Voice of Reason is done for the week. I'll be back next week with another slew of slappers. Deuces!
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. President Trump's 90-day tariff pause is in effect. Black Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock calls it a step in the right direction. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says it's due to trade deal negotiations. The House passed a GOP bill to limit federal judges' power to issue nationwide injunctions targeting only involved parties. This responds to injunctions against President Trump's actions.